Hey y'all, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. I know it's been some far and few between episodes, but please forgive me. I have three different entrepreneurial things that I am doing, including the podcast in that three that has kept me busy. But believe me, I have plenty of great things in the works as far as changing things and all that. But anyways, welcome to everybody who decided to join in today. Thank you so much for taking the time out. If this is the first time that you're listening, thank you so much for taking the time out. I truly appreciate you. If you have been here before and you're coming back, or you just happen to just jump in to say hello, listen what I'm talking about today, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you for my guests that have been on. I just had the author Shana Gourdoin on. So that was amazing. I'm going to load up that conversation. There's some technical issues with the sound. Her sound was not very loud, so I'm trying to figure out how to boost her sound. But anyway, that's me learning technology, and you know, learning is half the battle with all these things that we are doing, new or old anyways, right? So today, oh my gosh, today's podcast is about friendship and maintaining friendships, old and new, and just meeting new people while building my entrepreneurial life of me, part of my life, which is all new to me, is something that I have been embracing, is meeting new people and developing and cultivating those relationships. And through that, I've seen relationships break apart, not like marital relationships, but just friendships that I thought were solid, all of a sudden not be so solid. So it made me sit down and really think about who's in my circle, right? Who's in my circle. And my circle is not very big. For those of you who know me, no, my circle is far from huge at all, honestly. And the people that are in there are very valuable to me. And so I try to check in with those people in my circle as often as possible, because I tend to check out, not intentionally, but I tend to just get into this world of work and pushing that I lose track of those other parts of my life that are also of value to me. So for those of you who are my friends out there, please know that I think of you and that you are near and dear to my heart, and that when you feel like I come across your spirit, please shoot me a message, just as I shoot you guys like a random message. Some of my friends haven't heard from me in months, and then I'll shoot them a message like, hey, how you doing? That's just me kind of regrouping and checking in. So just know you're not forgotten, and you're definitely no love lost between us. And I hope you feel the same way. But with that, as I said, I was having a lot of conversations with friends, and I met a new friend over the weekend, and oh my gosh, it's like talking to an old friend. And have you guys ever had those conversations with people where it feels like you're picking up a conversation that you left off months ago, maybe years ago, but this is the first time you're ever meeting this person? That's the kind of conversation that I had just the other day. I spent 2 hours and some change on the phone with this person that I literally just met maybe 24, 48 hours ago. But it's those kind of connections that I find really valuable, because they're far and few between. You know, friendships, it's just not something that's common anymore. And then when you get across those friendships that are really genuine, that part is rare. That is rare. And I have to say that I am very blessed to have come across some women that have been very genuine. And I appreciate that, because as all of us who are in our certain entities and our certain communities, we know we as the female persuasion can be brutal. oh my gosh, we are, whoo-wee. Man, we could take each other down without batting an eye and keep moving. It's cutthroat. I swear. And I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I've been on the back end of it. I've been on the front end of it. Hell, I probably cut some people off too. So I get it. I get it. And for me, and when I cut you off, believe me, you've done something to me for me to cut you off. I don't maliciously do anything to anyone. And I pray no one has maliciously done anything to me, though I'm sure they have. And, karma and the universe will handle that. But, intentionally, I don't do anything malicious to people. I try not to. So I always tell people, if there's something I said or something I did that came across to you in a negative way, please let me know, because 9 times out of 10, it was not my intention. Sometimes I'm very sarcastic, and I used to tell my students this. I was like, I am very sarcastic, number one. Number two, I'm going to tell you like it is. So please, if you're going to ask me a question and you want my answer, I'm going to be honest. I'm very non-judgmental, so I don't care what you do, who you do, any of that. That's not where I'm going. I'm not judgmental on any of that, any level. But you ask me a question about something, or you want to know my opinion, I'm going to give you my honest and true answer. And sometimes it can come across different or negative, but in your perception. So I always tell people, let me know if I say something that offends you. So there you go. So anyone out there, let me know. But yeah, so friendships, yeah, that is what today is about. Friendships and finding those meaningful connections. And for women, like I said, it's very difficult. Some of us can actually find those connections in the opposite sex. And I'm told that you need to be careful with that. And I'm seeing for myself that you need to be careful with that, because sometimes I can be very naive, and believe it or not, I can be, because I don't see things the way other people see. I genuinely think people are being kind and nice, and then it's like, oh no. Somebody's like, oh, that person is, trying to come on to you or flirt. I'm like, yeah, no, you're kidding me. Yeah, I'm that person. But I will conversate with you and, see where it goes. And then if I feel like it's going in that direction, I will definitely stop you and be like, we're going to have to stop right there. Because that's not going to happen. But anyways, friendships and the meaningful connections that you find in people, I find that is very, very valuable, and very far and few between that you find those genuine connections, especially in our female circle. And it crosses all relationship barriers. It crosses generations. It crosses color barriers. It doesn't matter. For some reason, we are the hardest on each other. And I find that when I find a connection with someone of the same sex and we're just vibing that way, I value that, because it is rare. It is rare. And I want to sit down and I reflect on those interactions and the people I've met and the people that I've been meeting. And I listen to my intuition. Sometimes I do ignore it. I got to be honest. My intuition will tell me, some things about people, and I'll go, oh no, but that can't be. I'll go against that, and sure shooting, there it is, right? So I just feel like we need to really sit down and take this time to reevaluate our friendship. I know we all have had all this time during the pandemic. A lot of us have created businesses. A lot of us have gone back to school, changed careers, all these things, left careers, all these things, and have changed. But I challenge you to sit and actually sit down with a notebook and tally your friends list. Who is someone that you consider a friend? Your sister, your brother, who? All right. Put their names down. What attributes about them is it that you find, is what attributes about them do you find of value to you? What do you like about them? What value do they bring to your life that you continue to bring yourself into that space? That's the question that I have for all of you, right? Sit down, look at your friends, write their names down, physically write their names down. If they are somebody that you say, you are my friend, write their name down. Not associates, not anything like that. Somebody who is your friend that you would invite to your house, that you would have dinner with, that you would tell your innermost thoughts to. That's a friend. Someone that's close to you. Write their names down and see how many of those kind of people you have. Not your associates, not people you meet, not your network connections, not those people. Not unless they became your besties, then by all means do that. But if they are just associates, people that you maintain connections with for one reason or another outside of that friendship building kind of connection, write their names down, right? And then you can write their names down too on a separate list and write associate or network affiliate, whatever name title you want to give that list of people. Write it down. And then, as I said, those people that are your friends, and you use the word friend, you use sister, you use brother, you use that cuz, even if it's a cuz, right? Short for cousin. If you use that terminology to refer to another individual that is close to you, that is not blood related, write it down. Okay? Write their name down. Next to their names, write down what it is that drew you to that person. And we're all going to be drawn to individuals for different reasons because they bring different things to us in our relationships, right? So all our friends are all part of us. They bring different things to our connections with them. So you may have one friend that you tell your innermost, darkest secrets to, but then you have another friend that you can be total down and dirty with and do the most scandalous stuff with and whatever. I'm just making up stuff. But and you may have a friend that's great for going shopping. You have that friend that has the best restaurant choices and has the best recipes, those kinds of things. You have a friend that you go to for getting prayer or going to church, or if you want to have that religious conversation, whatever you have, those people in your life, what do they mean to you? What do they bring to you? What value do you get from them? And what value do you give them? I would ask them, once you have your list together, and you are talking to each other one-on-one, I mean, why not ask, what value do I bring to your life, right? I mean, it's a relationship on some level, and even though we always think of relationships as those husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, domestic partner, those relationships, but friendships are relationships too. You cultivate those friendships, right? You are engaging. You pretty much date each other before you call people your friend, right? You go out, have fun, talk, have lunch, have dinner, go out, have coffee, have conversation before you really decide of whether or not you're going to call this person your friend. So you kind of do date your friends before you kind of call them your friend. But anyways, some people may not see it that way, but that's the way I see it. Like, before you call somebody your friend, I'm going to sit there and have a conversation with you and find what's within you that I like, and what makes, if I find that I'm talking to you a great deal, that means a lot, because I don't talk a lot to a lot of people. So if I'm having a conversation with you that's meaningful and that's deep and that extends past a certain time frame, that speaks volumes. Because I'm not a small talk person. I don't do small talk, mingling, cocktail party kind of stuff. I hate it. I will do it, but I don't do it very well. And I come with a list of things to talk about in my head. But anyways, so yes, so your friends are relationships, those friendships, and you do cultivate them and build on them. Communication is big, right? So you treat them just like relationships. You communicate in your relationship, you communicate in your friendship, right? And those are the things that you want to continue to build on. So you really need to sit down and reevaluate your relationships with your friends. And what do you mean to them? What do they mean to you? Is it worth maintaining a friendship? Maybe they may go from being that friend and slip into that associate side, right? Because, okay, I thought you were this, but I see that we're not vibing that way. I still find value in you, and you and I are still not worthy, that's the wrong word, but we still like to talk and chill with each other. I'm going to slide you over to associate because we still have contact periodically. And also you may do business with that person too. So you still have that connection on some level, but you start to change how you interact with that individual. And that may be a possibility, right? So then your friend that was once a friend, a sister or a brother, can definitely shift. So these relationships do change, right? So you do cultivate it. It is a relationship, and it is an intimate relationship. Now, when you think intimacy, everybody always goes to the sex. Intimacy is not always about sex. It's those close connections, those close conversations that you have with people, and building on that. So on a level in that relationship, you are building on a level of intimacy with that person. So you are, some of my closest friends, I know some of the damnedest shit about them, and they know about me, and it's like, that was really intimate right there. Right? Because it is. It gets close. It gets close, and you share. And that's okay, because we need those people that we can be open and honest with, and it's non-judgmental, that you can share those things with people, and they're far and few between. That's why I said, when you find that person that you can have a conversation with, and it's just like your conversation flows like butter. And I got my New York accent for that one. It flows like butter, baby. All right. So you cultivate those, you build on those. And I have been blessed and highly favored to have so many of those. And I would never in a million years think that the universe would bring such close women in my life, and men, because I do have some friends that are guys, and they truly are friends. I know what Steve Harvey says about guys being your friend, and they just waiting for your husbands to leave so they can slide in. Yeah, I know all that. And believe me, we are friends, okay? We are nothing but friends. There will be no sliding in if ever my husband decides to leave me, which that I do not foresee. But again, no one knows what tomorrow may bring. Only the universe and the Lord above knows. So I don't take anything for granted. But yes, there is possibilities of having male friends. Okay. I know, again, what Steve Harvey says about male friends and, all that business. But it is possible. It is possible. I have a few of them, and I've had had them for years. So, yeah, there you go. Maybe I'm a rare person. Who knows? But it's possible. But anyways, those friendships, cultivate them, build on them, and listen to your intuition. Because again, as we're human beings, and we evolve, we grow. We really should take account and re-examine our friendships, because sometimes we grow out of our friends. Let's face it. As we grow and change, sometimes we're growing, and that other person is, if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, I say, that still person. You want to stay away from still people, right? Still doing the same thing they're doing in the hood, still hanging out in the corner, still going to the liquor store, buying their 40-ounce, sitting out. Those still people, all right? Then you've outgrown them, and they've moved It doesn't mean that you won't talk to them and say hello, how you doing, and have those casual conversation. It just means they move from that friend slot. Ooh, I'm really tired. My country accent coming out, my Brooklyn accent coming out, everything's coming out. But anyways, so they move out of that friend column and they just slid right on over to that associate column. And that doesn't mean that you no longer, talk to them. It just means that your relationships with them has changed. And that's okay. That's okay. And we have to learn to be okay with those changes. So often that when things are changed like that, we're so quick to cut people off. It's like, oh yeah, I don't mess with them no more. They still doing this and they still doing that. Okay, they still doing that, but are you? No, you've grown and all right. So you move on and do your thing, and that person just shifts right over to the associate. It don't mean you throw your nose up at them. You just say, you say your piece, have a conversation, and you move on. You just don't jive like that, like you used to, and that's okay. Evolution is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. And I say the same thing when about marriage. It is hilarious, right? Marriage. I watched this TV show. I don't think I don't know. I don't have cable, so if it's not on stream, I can't find it. But the 7-year itch, that's it. 7-year itch, or the 7-year switch, or whatever, where they switch spouses after you've been together 7-10 years or whatever. And that they have that saying that in 7 years, you get tired, everything is stagnant. Well, I'm coming up to that 7 year. I'm on 6. And this summer will be 6 years. And hey, listen, life happens. Things happen. Marriage, relationships, as I said, takes work. Takes work. It takes work on communicating. It takes work on remembering birthdays. It takes work on being present at events. It takes work. All right. You have to be willing to work at it. Are you willing to work at your friendships and maintaining them? Right. It takes a conscious effort. Are you willing to maintain a marriage? It takes a conscious effort. So checking in is one of those ways on maintaining that, and being present. Being present is 100% part of that as well. So that 7-year switch or 7-year itch that you've heard about, if you haven't heard about it, look it up. It's a real thing that people talk about. It just means the time for you to stop and be still and look at who you are married to. Look at who your friends are and see if they still fit the same bill. All right. If it's a marriage, I always say you're reconnecting several different times in your life. As you grow and evolve, you're reconnecting and getting to learn that person over again. You're reconnecting and they're getting to know you all over again, because you're no longer that same person that they married when you were 20, 30 years old. Okay? So they're learning you. And I had to learn that myself as I grew, because, my husband and I are in 2 different generations, though it doesn't seem like it when you talk to him, but we are. And it's one of those things. Like, I moved out here and all of a sudden I'm doing all these extrovert things, which I am far from an extrovert. I pretend to be an extrovert and I make it look good, but I'm really not an extrovert. I'm an introvert all the way. But I like to sneak out and dip my feet in the pool of being out and being an extrovert, and then I dip back in and I hide for a certain amount of time, and then I do it back and forth. So that part of me, first of all, I'm learning. And so with me learning it, it's new for my husband to see it. So he's looking at it as, oh my God, who is this person? I didn't know this was you. This is not what you were doing before. So now you are introducing him to, or her to, a new person that is still you, but it's a different part of you. It's that evolved part of you. And now that person is getting to know that new person. So you're introducing a whole new person to them all over again. And same as your spouse. When your spouse evolves, for those of us going through midlife crisis and menopause, they're going to meet several different people. You're going to meet several different versions of your husband as he's going through his midlife crisis, and he's going to meet several different people within you as you going through menopause. So hold on. It's going to be one bumpy ride, so you better be ready for them waves. All I can tell you is just when them waves hit, you got to bounce with them and come down. Bounce with them and come back down. But yeah, it's life. It's life. And it's all in what you do with it. One of my favorite reggae songs from back in the day, Life is What You Make It, right? And I am hell-bent on making that shit amazing, all right? Because the life before it was damn shitty. It was damn shitty. I had some roller coaster rides, and I can't say that because it all wasn't shitty. I had some glorious moments. I got two beautiful children out of some of the rockiest stuff I've been through. They are amazing. I met my husband through some rocky stuff. So not all that's bad is bad for you, right? Out of that bad comes some good. I always say it's like that lotus blossom, right? My lotus blossom theory. Lotus blossoms grow in the murkiest of water, and out comes this beautiful, oh my gosh, I love lotus blossoms. Out comes this beautiful blooming flower from the deepest, ugliest swamp, right? So just think of it like that. Friendships, relationships, you just have to reevaluate and check in. But yeah, so that's what I had on my brain today because, like I said, I've met some wonderful people, and I've been I have some wonderful guests lined up moving on in the future. So it's just making those connections and seeing what those connections mean for you. And as I said in the beginning, write it down and start taking a list of who's in your circle and what they mean to you. It may be time to change. It may be time to change. I've told people when they find themselves running that hamster wheel of doing the same thing over and over again, one is a sign of insanity because you think you're going to get a different outcome doing the same thing over again. Two, it's just, it should be a wake-up call that you stop on that wheel and say, let me get off. Let me go in another direction because obviously I'm getting nowhere going in this one. Right? So that's the way I see it. Get off the hamster wheel and go down the block and see what's out there. If you find that in your circle, all you're doing is that still stuff. You still going to the club. You still hanging out on the corner. You still drinking here and there. You don't want to be still. Not like that. All right, guys. So with that, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to finish my tea. And I'm going to go in here and try to fix this sound so I can put up this podcast that I did because I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, I can phone my new friend. That's what I can do. She can help me out. Roger that. Thank you. So, it's those kind of things that I need to do. But yeah, I just wanted to drop in and talk to y'all about that because like I said, it's been a while. And if you guys have a chance, check out my new line on Divine Nubian Essentials. It's holistic, all natural, homemade skin and hair care products. And when I tell you this stuff is the bomb diggity, I love it. And I'm not just saying it because it's mine. I'm saying it because it is amazing. It works. My skin is amazing. For those of you who know me and have been in my presence, have seen my pictures, my skin, it's not by chance. It's by me using my product. I don't use any chemicals in my product. There aren't any alcohol. I don't use any carrier oils like castor oil, mineral oil. For me personally, I just don't like those oils. And I know there are some beneficial properties to them, but for me, they weigh my hair down, so I don't use them. And I find that, you know what, my products aren't missing for them. And my hair, as y'all see, ain't lacking anything. So Okay, yes, I did say ain't, whatever. But my hair is not missing a beat. So therefore, I think it is a number one. So divinenubianessentials.com. If you haven't checked it out already, please do. And if you guys know anyone who needs healthcare tutoring services, please send them my way. To Collins Education Resource Management. Right now, we're just doing nursing, but as I grow, we will definitely add on more and more careers to help guide any of you and all of you. And if you guys need a speaker for health and wellness, want to do a meditation class, workshop, let me know. I'm available at collinseducation.com or collinserm.com, and I'll be happy to help you out. So with that, I'm going to check out. So you guys take care of yourself and each other, and be kind to one another, and check in on your friends, right? Just check in on your friends. And here come the helicopters overhead. But check in on your friends and just see how they doing. I try to be mindful of it. For those of you who are listening that are in my friend circle, y'all know I'll send y'all a meme or a hello, good morning at 5 a.m. It's all out of love. It's all out of love. So again, just take care of yourselves, check in on each other, check in on your friends, and check your friends list. Your friends may have turned into associates, and your associates may have turned into a friends. Let's see what's happening. So with that, I bid you adieu. Namaste, people.